Do you ever dream of quitting your job and moving to a different place? Get ready for revolutionary lives.
Day after day, year after year, millions of us trudge off to our jobs. We work and toil, living paycheck to paycheck, until one day, we're trapped.
But there's hope for all of us. Join me, Andrea Raen, as I shake down the planet in search of people who have quit their everyday jobs to follow their dreams. They now lead revolutionary lives. And along the way, we'll see how their lives have taken some twists and turns that may change the way that you look at your own.
Welcome to Zihuatanejo, Mexico, the place that we call paradise.
Zihuatanejo is also the place 4 Americans have now adopted as their home, and the place they've chosen to live their revolutionary lives. Judy Brown is a former drive-in movie star.
Women in Cages, starring Judy Brown.
Debbie Meone and Margot Chipman work nights where many celebrities hang out when they're in town.
That's where I realized in the States, you work and you get so involved in it that becomes your life.
At almost overnight, I went from a fast lane, LA, Hollywood, to a hippie in Mexico.
And remember the film Casablanca? Well, Rick Carpenter is now the owner of his own Rick's Bar.
I may move to someplace else in Mexico if it gets too crowded in Ziwa, but yeah, I'm definitely at home in Mexico now.
Their stories in just a minute, but first, let's take a quick look around Zihuatanejo. It's a small fishing village and tourist destination nestled against the backdrop of the Sierra Madre Mountains along Mexico's Pacific coast, 150 miles northwest of Acapulco. With over 300 days of sunshine a year and an average temperature of 82 degrees, some 50,000 people call Zihuatanejo their home. Long before Columbus discovered the New World, Zihuatanejo was called Zihuatland. It means place governed by women. Over the years, it was a stopping point for Spanish fleets and pirates. It remained a small fishing village for centuries. Today, at the heart of Zihuatanejo is the marina, where local fishermen and sports fishermen still bring their catch.
We caught 14 sailfish and probably 8 or 10 tuna. It was a really good day. Same boat. It's a beautiful place. We love it here.
Visitors can walk down its cobblestone streets and stay in a little hotel in the center of town, or at one of the luxury hotels along its beautiful beaches. Like La Ropa, meaning closed beach, it owes its name to a shipwrecked Spanish galleon that spilled its oriental silk cargo on its white sands. Zihuatanejo is still a popular destination for sailors, cruise ships, and tourists of all kinds who find their way here in search of fun and adventure. Get ready for revolutionary lives! The best experience of my entire life. I'm just not even going to try to lie. It's here that Judy Brown now calls home. The path of her life has led her all the way from the movie and television sets of Hollywood to her life here in Mexico as a newspaper columnist and jewelry maker.
My name is Judy Brown, and I've been here for about almost 5 years. I come originally from Los Angeles. I was an actress for many years. Actually, I was a recording artist when I was 14 years old. Glenn Campbell played, I don't know if I ever told you this, Glenn Campbell played guitar for me. I had a song called Heaven in Paradise when I was 14. Johnny Rivers sang background, and it became a hit. And I was in high school. I went to Beverly High. And when I graduated high school, I went on to Stevens College, University of Missouri. I went back to LA. You know, I did Ironside and Adam 12 and all the Universal shows, The Doctors. And I did some things at Mission Impossible, I think at Paramount, Love American Style, all that stuff. I then worked for Roger Corman, and I starred in Women in Cages and The Big Dollhouse.
Women in Cages, the sensational new motion picture that rips the veil off the dirtiest racket ever conceived by the minds of vicious men. Women in Cages, starring Judy Brown, Pam Grier, Roberta Collins, Jennifer Gann, and many, many others. Innocent young girls held in cruel bondage, sold to the highest bidder to satisfy strange desires.
Must be awfully hard to keep your hair neat with that big bitch running her fingers through it all the time.
Well, in the 70s, they were exploitation movies of the 70s. And they were putting women in men's situations, and they were very sort of campy. And I'm not sure we knew they were campy at the time, to tell you the truth. I think we took it very seriously. And, but I always opted, to go away for adventure.
Come cut my face up.
We were in the jungles of the Philippines and making these, you know, in wild movies with women carrying machine guns and breaking out of prisons and putting women in men's situations. Today, there's sort of a cult of Roger Corman, around Roger Corman and his movies.
No! No!
I always thought, oh God, someday I'm going to really be embarrassed about this. And a couple times it's come up because I have two wonderful daughters. And one of my daughters goes to the University of Colorado, and her roommate was in the women's history class. And they were talking about women in prison and the history of women in prison. And she looked up, and there I was in Women in Cages on the screen. I got divorced from my college sweetheart and was single about 8 to 10 years. That's during the time I had my career. And then I thought, well, it's time to have children, and I met a man, a producer, a lovely man, and we had two wonderful daughters. And we were married in LA, which is not easy. He was quite a well-known producer, successful television producer and film producer, and which takes you away a lot. Hard to raise a family in that environment. Anyway, we ended up getting divorced about 12 years later, and I came back down here just because I never forgot it. It was a healing place, and I needed to heal. And this is a wonderful place to do it. And I came back down here, and this had always been my dream, that someday when my daughters grew up and went away to college, and you know, I would move to like you know, a Polynesian island. Well, this is my island. And I hired an architect, and he did this, and I sold my house in LA when my daughter graduated high school, went away to college, and that afforded me to live here.